In this video, we will understand organization of computer. A computer is an electronic machine that accepts data from the user, processes the data by performing calculations and operations on it, generates the desired output as a result. The term computer is derived from Latin word computare, which means to compute. Generally, computer is the combination of hardware and software which covers the data into information. Computer operates on set of instructions only. They cannot think as human beings. Hardware. It is collection of physical elements that constitute a computer system. It is a comprehensive term for all the physical parts of a computer. For example, display screens, disks, keyboards, mouse, printers, scanner, chips, etc. Software. It is a set of programs and procedures. Software tells the hardware what to do and how to accomplish it. For example, web browsers, word processors, etc. Data, unprocessed, raw facts, and figures like numbers, text on pieces of paper are known as data. Information. When data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so as to be useful, then it is called information. Instruction. It is a command given to a computer in the computer language by the user. And program. It is a set of instructions given to a computer in order to perform some task. Block diagram of computer. Major components of the block diagram of computer are input unit, output unit, central processing unit, that is CPU. There are three types of CPU. Control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, memory unit. Memory unit is divided into two parts. Primary memory, secondary memory. Input unit. Computer requires the input unit to receive data and information and then use it to solve problems. The user provides the computer with data and information. With the use of input devices, we give data and information input. Input unit made up of variety of input devices. Some input devices are keyboard, mouse, microphone, scanner, etc. The computer's CPU may process instructions that are provided to it by application programs running on the monitor. For a user to interact with these application programs, input devices must be present. When a user enters data into the application program via input devices, the CPU suspends the application program's instructions and begins receiving input signals. When the CPU receives input signals, it uses the data from these signals to restart the processing of the application program's instructions. Output unit. The computer's output unit communicates the results of processing and information to the outside world. In general, the output unit reverses the process of the input unit, converting machine language into electronic signals readable by the output devices. Visual display unit, usually known as the monitor, is the most commonly utilized output device. Other popular output devices include projector, headphones, speakers, etc. Central processing unit. The CPU is the backbone of the computer system. Without it, a computer is nothing. All the instructions that the computer receives from the user or a set of instructions are processed by this brain. This brain then prints out the desired result based on the instructions received and the input that the user made. It plays a crucial role in performing arithmetic and logical operations. It is responsible for controlling the operations of other devices. Three major components of the CPU are control unit, arithmetic logical unit, and memory unit. Control unit. Important part of the computer's central processing unit, CPU, is the control unit. The control unit, which coordinates and controls other functional units of the computer, is sometimes known as the central nervous system of the machine. All CPU functions, including arithmetic logic unit operations and data flow inside the CPU, are under the direction of control unit. Arithmetic logical unit. The arithmetic logic unit is a major part of the computer's central processing unit. The arithmetic logic unit is the portion of the central processing unit that handles all of the CPU's calculations. The arithmetic logic unit work for all math and operations that are related to arithmetical and logical operations. Also, they work on the basis of comparisons. Mostly, they are responsible for performing the decision making so that they can do most of the operations. When any calculations must be performed, the control unit passes the data from the memory unit to the arithmetic logic unit. When the computation is completed and the results are created by the arithmetic logic unit, the control unit returns the computation data to the memory unit. The arithmetic unit performs logical, arithmetic, and bit shifting operations. Memory unit. The memory unit is responsible for storing data and information for the computer's other functional components. The computer's memory unit stores the data and information received from the input unit before it is processed by the central processing unit, CPU. Memory unit is divided into two categories: primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory. The primary memory is the most quickly accessible memory unit. These memories require relatively little time to receive and deliver data for processing. Control unit and arithmetic logic unit are also close to the primary memory. This memory is typically used to store the program that is now running in the CPU. Data received by the input unit and intermediate and final program results stored and transmitted from memory to the CPU. Primary memory is temporary and volatile. It means that if the computer is turned off, the data is permanently erased. As a result, it cannot store data for an extended period of time. In order to prevent data loss, the primary memory sends the data to the computer's secondary memory. Secondary memory? Secondary memory capacity ranges from gigabytes to terabytes, and it serves as an archive for the computer system. Secondary memory can be used to store application programs, documents, films, audio, databases, and so on. Data and information transmission and reception are slower than in primary memory. Central Processing Unit, CPU, is the location where programs are executed. Even before the CPU begins program execution, it must request that the secondary memory load the program's key instructions and information from the secondary memory into the primary memory, after which program execution begins. Let's practice some questions of organization of computer. Question 1. What is the primary function of a computer? Options are to think like a human, to accept data, process it, and generate output, to store data permanently, to connect to the internet, to run applications. Correct answer option is B, to accept data, process it, and generate output. Because a computer's main role is to take input, process it, and produce output. Other options do not accurately describe the full scope of a computer's main function. Question 2. What does the term hardware refer to? Options are software application, physical components of a computer, data processing, user instructions, network connections. Correct answer option is B, physical components of a computer. Because hardware refers to the physical parts of the computer like the motherboard, CPU, and peripherals. Software, data processing, and network connections are not physical components. Question 3. Which of the following is an example of software? Options are keyboard, monitor, web browser, printer, hard drive. Correct answer option is C, web browser. Because a web browser is a software application used for browsing the internet. Keyboard, monitor, printer, and hard drive are all hardware, not software. Question 4. What is data? Options are processed information, unprocessed raw facts and figures, a command given to a computer, a set of instructions, a software applications. Correct answer option is B, unprocessed raw facts and figures. Because data is raw, unprocessed information that can be used for analysis and processing. The other options refer to processed data or instructions, not raw data. Question 5. Which unit is responsible for output in a computer? Options are input unit, central processing unit, output unit, memory unit, storage unit. Correct answer option is C, output unit. Because the output unit handles the final stage, producing results such as display or printed output. Input, memory, and storage units do not directly handle output. Question 6. What is the role of the control unit in the CPU? Options are to perform arithmetic calculations, to store data, to coordinate and control other functional units, to provide input to the computer, to manage memory allocation. Correct answer option is C, to coordinate and control other functional units. Because the control unit manages the flow of data and coordinates the actions of the CPU's various components. Other units perform specific tasks like calculations or storing data, not coordination. Question 7. Which component of the CPU performs arithmetic and logical operations? Options are control unit, memory unit, input unit, arithmetic logic unit, cache memory. Correct answer option is D, arithmetic logic unit. Because the arithmetic logic unit performs arithmetic and logical operations like addition, subtraction, and comparisons. The control unit coordinates actions and memory units store data. Question 8. What type of memory is known for being temporary and volatile? Options are secondary memory, primary memory, cache memory, flash memory, optical memory. Correct answer option is B, primary memory. Because primary memory is temporary and loses its data when the system is powered off. Secondary, flash, and optical memory are non-volatile and store data long term. Question 9. Which of the following is not an input device? Options are keyboard, mouse, monitor, scanner, joystick. Correct answer option is C, monitor. Because a monitor is an output device that displays information. Keyboard, mouse, scanner, and joystick are all input devices. Question 10. What is the main purpose of secondary memory? Options are to execute programs, to store data permanently, to process input, to manage system resources, to perform calculations. Correct answer option is B, store data permanently. Because secondary memory, like a hard drive, is used for long-term data storage. Other options refer to functions like executing programs or processing input, not data storage. Question 11. What happens to data in primary memory when the computer is turned off? Options are it is saved permanently, it is transferred to secondary memory, it is erased, it remains unchanged, it is compressed. Correct answer option is C. It is erased. Because data in primary memory is lost when the power is turned off. Primary memory is volatile and does not store data after shutdown. Question 12. Which of the following devices is commonly used as an output device? Options are keyboard, mouse, printer, scanner, webcam. Correct answer option is C, printer. Because a printer produces a physical copy of digital data, making it an output device. Keyboard, mouse, scanner, and webcam are all input devices. Question 13. What is the function of the arithmetic logic unit? Options are to control data flow, to perform calculations and logical operations, to store data, to provide user input, to manage memory. Correct answer option is B, perform calculations and logical operations. Because the arithmetic logic unit is responsible for performing all arithmetic and logical operations in a computer. The arithmetic logic unit does not control data flow, store data, or provide user input. Question 14. Which of the following best describes information? Options are raw data, processed and organized data, a command to the computer, a set of instructions, a software application. Correct answer option is B, processed and organized data. Because information is data that has been processed and organized for interpretation. Raw data is not considered information until it is processed and structured. Question 15. What is the primary role of the input unit? Options are to display results, to receive data and information, to store data, to perform calculations, to manage output. Correct answer option is B, to receive data and information. Because the input unit is responsible for receiving data from the user or other devices. The other options refer to tasks like display, storage, or processing that are not handled by the input unit. Question 16. How does the CPU handle input signals from the input unit? Options are it ignores them, it processes them immediately without interruption, it suspends the current application program to process the input, it queues them for later processing, it sends them directly to secondary memory. Correct answer option is C, it suspends the current application program to process the input. Because the CPU pauses the current process to handle input signals in real time. The CPU doesn't ignore, queue, or directly store input signals in secondary memory. Question 17. What is the relationship between the control unit and the arithmetic logic unit? Options are the control unit performs calculations while the arithmetic logic unit controls data flow. The control unit directs the arithmetic logic unit to perform calculations and manage data flow. The arithmetic logic unit manages the overall operations of the control unit. They operate independently of each other. The control unit stores the data while the arithmetic logic unit processes it. Correct answer option is B. The control unit directs the arithmetic logic unit to perform calculations and manage data flow. Because the control unit coordinates the arithmetic logic unit to execute tasks like calculations and logical operations. The control unit does not perform calculations, and the arithmetic logic unit doesn't manage the control unit. Question 18. Which of the following statements about secondary memory is true? Options are faster than primary memory, used for temporary storage, store large amounts of data permanently, volatile and loses data when powered off, only used for system files. Correct answer option is C, store large amounts of data permanently. Because secondary memory is used for permanent storage, typically holding large amounts of data. Secondary memory is slower than primary memory and is not volatile. Question 19. What is the primary function of the memory unit in a computer? Options are to execute programs, to store data and information for processing, to provide input to the CPU, to display output, to manage network connections. Correct answer option is B, to store data and information for processing. Because the memory unit temporarily holds data and instructions for processing. The memory unit does not execute programs or handle network connections. Question 20. When the CPU executes a program, where does it first load the program's instructions from? Options are primary memory, secondary memory, input unit, output unit, cache memory. Correct answer option is B, secondary memory. Because the program's instructions are loaded from secondary memory to primary memory for execution. Instructions must be loaded from secondary storage into memory before they can be executed.